This chapter is called Victim Mentality. Okay, so victim mentality is when a person consistently paints their life up as a situation of tragedy. It's when a person constantly refers to other people as attacking them or external situations attacking them. They never have a particular point of their life where they're comfortable and everything is seen on the outskirts as a threat, okay? And so oftentimes what ends up happening during this whole victim mentality sort of ordeal is that they will reach out to a whole lot of people, typically the people that are closest to them one way, shape, form, or another, and then they will systematically attain attention from those people through constant acts of tragedy or constant points of discord in their life. So whether it be they've broken up with someone, or whether it be a friend is sabotaging something within their life, or whether it be a friend turned an enemy, or a straight up enemy which is sabotaging this person's life. Could be the system itself. I mean, I've had a lot of people make references to the idea that unemployment office did a certain thing to them, or maybe it was at the university you're at, or whatever, or whatnot. It doesn't really matter. It's always one thing to the next thing to the next thing. There's certain people who make this their habit. Okay, so I'm not talking about the person who ends up having a problem and every once in a while contacts you. I'm talking about the type of person who is on a never-ending binge of being a victim. Okay, and so here's the big problem with the victim mentality, is that oftentimes it is a very powerful thing of which they're constantly bombarding those around them with negative things. Okay, and as they talk about all of these negative things, they're reliving them, they're remanifesting them, and then the people who have to hear it, they're hearing it on a non-stop level. And so what you do is you start to wear down the will of those around you. Okay, you got to understand that as a victim, you're building this for yourself. This is something that you take upon yourself. These are the types of people who also never see themselves as any sort of an aggressor. They always see themselves as passive, and they think of themselves as ideal. Okay, I've seen this mentality a lot. There's too many people that do not like to take responsibility for the things that they've done or the inaction in their lives, okay? And so all of us want certain things out of life. All of us have certain goals, certain expectations, but the fact of the matter is we don't put them into motion. We do not animate them, okay? Oftentimes we get into positions in our life where we're comfortable, and the idea of success actually almost becomes more frightening of a prospect than just sitting back and being comfortable in the world that you've already created. Okay, well, the victim mentality, because of seeing everything as a blockade, everything is a wall to them, okay, and it's a wall of which they put up so that way no one crosses. And so the thing is once you have literally systematically built all these walls in which no one can trespass or cross, you have to climb back out of them in order to get things done in your life. Okay? And so a victim, more or less, is always in a place of stagnation. There's not too many victims that I've ever seen that have gone forward with their lives and became completely financially stable, or gone forward in their lives and become spiritually stable. Okay? And not to say that financial has anything to do with being spiritually stable. You know, the two may have nothing to do with each other, but when a person's life is completely spiraled out of what they believe their own control, then this creates all sorts of problems, and it creates problems for everyone around them, including themselves. Okay, so you have to remember that the whole idea of this particular book, the whole idea of this particular segment, is to realize that you are building these things for yourself. Okay, and it merely takes the act of stepping outside of that and realizing all the steps that you may have done that may have put you into this situation. All the expectations that you may have laid on other people that may not have deserved to have those expectations put upon them. Okay? Because it is no one else's responsibility to move someone forward in life than that person who is trying to move forward. It's no one else's responsibility. Okay? In some degrees, we think of how our parents may have raised us, whether they gave us the right tools, yes or no, but after you're 18 years old, there is a certain point where you have to cross the line and go, all right, my parents did everything that they could for me, and now it's time for me to step up to the plate and then create all these new avenues for myself, because that's all it is. It's a matter of creation, networking, stepping up outside of yourself, talking with people, meeting new people, not being afraid of society. Okay, because that leads to antisocial behavior, and antisocial behavior also leads to the victim mentality. Okay, if you are building your reality according to an itinerary that you've set up, if you step outside of that and fall, then it is completely on your own accord. Now, there are certain people out there that, yes, in fact, there are people who do attack them. There are things that do occur to people. There are accidents which do happen in life. I will say this, everything is pretty much set up. Actually, everything is a setup. Everything is set up accordingly to how it should operate. And if you fall out of line, out of your own plan, out of your own creative input, then you are sabotaging yourself, and that's what that becomes. Okay, victimhood is self-sabotage. Okay, so I can say personally myself, I've had many tragedies in life. I've had many people try to attack me. I've had many things that you would consider to be external try to attack me, but in the end, everything was up to me and my choice and how things turned out. So, you have to understand to a certain degree that if you are always taking the battered syndrome there, if you're always being the person that is saying, I can't because, well, this is holding me back, okay, then you're literally and willingly saying that you are at the will of something else's creation. Okay? And if you're at the will of something else's creation, then maybe you're not even thinking for yourself at that point. Okay? And that is something else that you need to look into further on in the chapter called The Machine, because the machine, there are certain things there that it talks about within the ego, that if you are actually operating within the ego, that the machine is thinking for you, that is actually the autopilot program that takes over while you choose to go into a victimhood state, or when you choose to literally just go out and let autopilot take over for you. So it is literally in every single scenario up to you. Life is always going to be throwing challenges at you, and if you curl in and you do not come out of it with grace, then you learn nothing from it. You learn nothing from going around in the same circle over and over. That's the reason why you have to look outside of that circle and say, I've done all of this which is inside the circle. And that is the circle that I keep running. But now I need to go and step outside. I need to do that one behavior that acts as a wild card from this scenario. So once you've discovered what the pattern is, you look into the pattern and you go, I'm stepping outside of that pattern so I can operate something else. So nonetheless, this is Michael Grubb, Avatar Energy Mastery Institute. I hope you were able to get what you need out of this, and that is called the victimhood or victim mentality chapter.